Good evening and welcome to Back to School Night for the 2020-2021 school year. My name is Chad Smith. I am the math teacher for the 6th grade Adventures team. And I'm just going to walk you through a few slides here, give you some information. And at the end, I'll have my email. It's also down in the bottom right corner of your screen. I'll have an email address that you can reach out to me if you have any questions that I didn't answer. Okay? So again, thank you so much for coming and visiting the virtual Back to School Night. I am a firm believer that all of us working together is what's definitely best for your kids. Again, thanks for taking that first step. So obviously you're here, and I'm here to help your students, and to help your kids, and that's the most important thing. So I'm going to try to give a brief information here about what can we all do working together to help your 6th grader be successful in math this year. So the first thing is to understand the expectations as far as homework, especially this year remote work. So there should never be any doubt when a student gets home about what their work is. The first thing they do when they enter the room for me is to write down their homework in their agenda. The homework's always posted on the backboard. They all know where to look. They just need to come in and write it down. That's always part of their do now. What they write in their agenda is typically something like virtual work for, and whatever the virtual work day is that's coming up for them. All homework problems and assignment, everything needs to be attempted. I expect it to be neat and quality. I don't give half credit. It's an all or nothing grade, 2 to 3 points per assignment. And I do 2 to 3 points because I find that that doesn't overly punish a child if they make a mistake and they forget once. But if it becomes a habit 3, 4, 5, 6 times, it does have an impact, not only on their homework score, obviously, but also when it comes time for quizzes and tests, having not done the homework or the virtual work, they're going to struggle, okay? You'll see down at the bottom, I don't give late work grades. So unless a student's absent, I don't give credit for turning things in late typically. And the reason for that is because we go over everything in class. We get the notes and the examples down, we answer questions, so I expect the kids that don't have the work or didn't do the work, that they're getting the correct information down, so at least they have that in their notebook to look back at. There's a couple of really useful sites for you. I'm actually going to start at the bottom and work up, so kind of a little different, but I think they get more important as we work up. So one of the great ones is YouTube. I use YouTube all the time in class to show videos. For virtual work, I'll use YouTube to show tutorial videos. Great resource if kids are at home and they're stuck. They can search YouTube and look up the topic or the skill, and I'm sure there's thousands of videos out there. And they're pretty good with YouTube, I know. So I feel pretty confident they can weed through the ones that are worth watching and the ones that are not. Khan Academy is another good one. It's free. It's all math related. I have one here. It's just like having a personal math tutor at your house. So any skill or concept, you can look that up on Khan Academy, and another great resource. Google Classroom is so important this year. All the virtual assignments and detailed instructions are posted here. So that goes for every class, not just math. But I wanted to take you to Google Classroom so you can see exactly what the student sees when they open it up. So these are your students. Your child is going to look a little bit different. But I'm going to pick one here. I'm going to just go into this period. So they'll click on it, and you'll see it brings up a stream of assignments. So right here happens to be the date I'm shooting this film, the 22nd. So the students at home, this popped up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they see this. So they click on this. They're going to be taken to the instructions. So this is what they'll see every time, and I think this is pretty consistent for all subjects. I can specifically speak for math. So the virtual work for today, it's listed very clearly. Steps 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4. If you take a look, if they lost the sheet I handed out in class, I'll give them an extra copy. That's right here. They're then going to check that worksheet with an answer key on this particular day. That's right here. They're going to follow the link and complete the quizzes. That's right here. Okay. And then the last one says, carefully watch the Edpuzzle video posted in your Math Google Classroom stream. So for that one, isn't necessarily down here. They would go back to their Google Classroom stream, which they all know how to do, and right there's that Google Classroom video that they would do. Okay. So the most important thing is making sure that they're reading directions. So as an example, in this particular case, not only does it tell them to watch the video, and what it introduces to them. These videos are so important this year because they're going to save us class time. And it's something we don't have a lot of in-person time right now under the hybrid situation. So these videos are meant to give kids a preview so they come in with some background knowledge. I also have in here, they need to take quality notes. Whatever he writes on his whiteboard in the video, you need to have in your notes. And that's really big for me. And the kids that do that will come in with some background knowledge and be way ahead of the game. Okay, just going to save some of that time in the classroom that would usually just be me up front instructing. So let's go back to the PowerPoint here. The second or the final site that I think is so important this year is you actually have the ability to, with your own Sapphire login information, which you should have, you have the ability to sign in and check your child's grades at any time. So you can literally have full access to our grade books. So you can go in and you can say, okay, here's the assignment, here's what they scored, here's any notes from the teachers on that assignment, here's their final grade or their current grades in that subject, and your child knows how to do this as well with their own access information. So if you're missing your Sapphire login or you're unsure of how to do that, please just contact the front office and they will run you through everything you need for that. Okay, but again, huge, and I tell the kids check it often, at least 2 to 3 times a week. And I also encourage parents to sit down with their child and go through the subjects and the assignments and talk about those so everyone's on the same page. And after doing that, if there's any questions, always reach out through email. That goes for the parent and also for your child. So in math, how will we be assessed? How do I come up with a grade at the end? Basically quizzes after each module on skills and vocabulary. Modules are kind of like groups of lessons or small sections of units, larger units. I also give unannounced quick checks from time to time where they come in, I have them number their paper, or I give them a slip of paper with maybe 5 questions, 3 questions on it, and grade those just to get a quick check. When I was in school, they called them pop quizzes, but quick checks, much friendlier. So we have end of unit assessments, skills and key vocabulary, homework, and I could put beside that /virtual work, right? It's got to be complete. It's got to have the work shown when appropriate, trying every problem, neatly done to the best of their ability. And I always tell the kids, I don't expect you to be Picasso. My handwriting's not the neatest, but there's a huge difference between just maybe not having the neatest handwriting and just rushing. So a huge difference there. And in math, it's so important to stay organized and write as neatly as we can, especially as our problems get more complex. Also under assessment, class participation, collaboration, and projects and in-class assignments. At home, I would just ask that you model a positive math attitude. I know some people have some strong feelings about math from their prior experience or whatever. I just ask that you help your child. You don't do it for them. And when you talk about math, talk about it in a positive light. It makes our work in the classroom so much better if we have positivity coming in rather than my dad says he's not good at this either, so that means I'm not going to be. And we want to try to erase those types of thoughts from our kids' head and give them all equal playing field. So again, just a list here. I'm not going to read down through it for you, but you can see some of my suggestions there. The last one, the big bolded one, get a few phone numbers of peers they can reach out to, especially on those virtual days, because I'll still be teaching, so reaching out to me via email may not be the quickest way for them to get an answer. Obviously, if there's issues, already this year there's been issues, the way I've posted things haven't posted correctly, and I'm still learning along with all of you. So kids have emailed me and said, hey, this isn't working. As soon as I get that, I go in, I fix it, email them back and say, okay, you're good. Now you can go in and do that work. Okay? I did have the students, as part of their first virtual assignment posted on Google Classroom, they were to sign up for Remind and have someone at home sign up for Remind. And I know they did this for Mrs. Fitz as well, if they have Mrs. Fitz. It's just important that for me, they also sign up for me with a new class code so they can get my messages. Again, it's a one-way system. I told the kids it's not like you're going to have my phone number, we're going to be texting all of a sudden. It's just one way back and forth, or me to them, I'm sorry, or me to the parent, so that we're all on the same page with the homework, special announcements, tests coming up, all that sort of thing. The directions for that, if you have not yet done so or your child has not yet done so, are in the very first virtual assignment I posted. There's directions on there as to how to do that. So thank you so much. I know that was very quick. I actually ran over my allotted 10 minutes by a few seconds. So if you have any questions, my email's here. I look forward to working with you and your child this year. And I know that together we can make a huge difference in your child's year, specifically in math class and just as an individual. So thanks again. And I look forward to meeting you hopefully in the near future.